Your AI broke in production and you don't know exactly how? Today I'm going to show you a system which AI companies use to pinpoint the problem, how to fix it, and how to automate it. Let's jump into the screen. Okay, so here is the thing about AI products. You can see what goes in, you can see what goes out, but everything in the middle, that's the blind spot. And if your AI does more than just chat, if it classifies the tickets or route the requests, takes any actions, those steps happening that you never see. Think about it like that. A customer sends a message, your AI sends a response. But between these two moments, maybe 5 or 10 steps happen. If the response is wrong, which steps broke? You can't identify which step is causing the problem. And you definitely can't focus your improvements. Basically, you are just throwing darts into the dark. And here is what the top AI teams figure out. Most of the cases, you can apply the Pareto rule. 20% of the effort to solve the problem gonna address 80% of corrupted answers. How to address this problem? You need evaluations. Way to test each step and see what actually is happening. But here is the problem which most teams hit next. They evaluating wrong. Most evaluation tools using something called gradient scale. You rate the AI response from 1 to 5. That sounds reasonable, but it's create a huge problem. What's the difference between 3 and 4? Or even worse, if you're using the scale between 1 and 10, what's the difference between 7 and 8? Nobody really knows. It's subjective and it's fuzzy. And when it's time to actually improve something, you have no idea where to start. The best AI companies do something different. They use binary evaluation. Pass or fail, 1 on 0, good, bad. There is no gray area and there is no room for subjective opinion. And here is the thing. Almost any evaluation can be turned into a binary question. It's just up to you how you're gonna ask the question. Let me show you how this looks. Let's say you are building an AI customer service system. Instead of rating empathy or tone on the scale of 1 to 5, you ask a binary question. Did the agent acknowledge the customer frustration before offering a solution? Yes or no? Was the ticket routed to the correct category, pass or fail? Did the response address the actual problem or did it give a generic answer? Again, yes or no. See the difference? Binary questions give you a clear answer and clear answers tell you what exactly to do next. Binary evaluation works because they give you clarity. But here is the next problem. Someone has to do those evaluations. Someone has to review each interactions and decide pass or fail. If you are getting hundreds of thousands of these interactions a day, humans can keep up. Or maybe they can, but it's becoming very costly to do. Here is where LLM judges came in, and that's how this works. You start with human expert, real person who know how good looks like. They review a sample of your AI responses. For each one, they give you a verdict, pass or fail, and they write a short explanation, 2 or 3 sentences about why it pass or why it fail. When you collect enough of these judges, maybe 50, maybe 100, something interesting starts to happen. You start seeing patterns. While you have these patterns, then you can template the process. You take all of the human judgments and the verdicts, the reasoning and the scores, and feed them into another AI. You are basically saying, here is how an expert thinks about that, now you do this. That's an LLM judge. AI judging AI. Here is why it matters. Human can review only so much interactions a day. An LLM judge can review all of them. Every single customer interaction is being monitored, evaluated, and logged. You get a complete picture of what's working and what's failing. No more sampling, no more guessing, no more bottlenecks. So that's what LLM judge is. AI evaluates AI at scale. Now let me show you how to build one in your organization. That's the same 5-step approach which top AI companies use. Here are the 5 steps of this approach. You need to get an expert, you need to generate the data, have expert judge, build the system prompt, and iterate before the system is working as designed. Okay, here is a key about the expert. Probably it's not you. You need someone who really knows what good likes in your domain. Building a supply chain forecast tool, get the best demand planner in your team. If you are building an HR screening tool, ask a senior recruiter to evaluate these interactions. If you want to build a system for customer service, work with the best customer support lead. This person does 2 things. The first one, they set the bar and they define what good looks like. Second, they have a knowledge that is really difficult to put into the words. All of the small things which new employees think they know after a month, but in the end, they learn it for the next year. Okay, step number 2, you need to generate or gather the data. If you have a real users, pull a sample of that actual interaction, but make sure you're covering the full shape of the data. What I mean by the shape of the data? Different features, different types of users, different scenarios, scenarios. A billing question from an angry customer looks different than a shipping question from someone who looks confused. You need example of all of them. And here is the thing. User won't always interact the way you expect. So you also need to generate a synthetic data. You can ask AI to create an edge cases of situations you haven't seen yet. Okay, step number 3, expert judgment. For each AI response, your expert give you two things: a verdict, pass or fail, and the reason. 2 or 3 sentences explaining why. And here is the part which most people miss. Even if the response is yes, or even if the response pass, the expert still supposed to provide you a feedback. If the judgment is negative, reasoning supposed to be even more specific. Instead of saying AI judgment was not accurate enough, ask for AI gave a generic answer without admitting the customer frustration or exploring alternative options. The reasoning is the whole point, the most important part of the process. The verdict tells you pass or fail, but the reasoning teach AI how to behave in the future. If you really care about improving the model, you need to take care about the reasoning from your expert. Let's jump into the next step, system prompt. This is where you turn all of the human judgment into AI judge. Your system prompt has 4 specific sections, and those sections are very similar to any other sections of a good prompt. You need to define role and task. Tell AI what it is and what it's supposed to do. Provide additional context, background information it needs to judge efficiently. Next to that, provide specific instruction, guidance on how to evaluate the customer inquiries. And then the most important part of the entire structure, few short examples. This is the most critical part of the structure. You take the real judgments from your human expert and put them right into the prompt. Here is the question, here is the AI response, here is what expert said, and here is the verdict. You can provide from 5 to 15 examples, depends how complex your situation is and how much complexity your model can handle. AI learns by example. You're showing it exactly how it's supposed to think. The more specific your expert critique is, the better your AI judgments become. Your LLM judge won't be perfect by the first day, but that's fine. Here is how to improve it. Take a sample of conversation, maybe 30, maybe 50. Have your human expert review what AI judge decide. Does he agree? Yes or no? Provide the explanation why yes, provide the explanation why not. Track that agreement rate over time, and especially in the beginning, every week, take the best disagreements from your human expert. The best disagreements, I mean, where your human expert provide the best quality explanation why he does not agree, and insert these examples as a new example to the master prompt. The AI judge learns, the agreement rates goes up, and your system gets smarter. The goal here is simple. Push the AI judge decision as close as possible to the human expert. And that's the 5-step process approach. Get an expert, generate the data, have them judge, build the prompt, and iterate. Let me show you how this might look like in a real case scenario automation. We building 2 AI into the system, which one acts as a classifier, second as a judge. So basically, we building a quality control step in our process. By doing this, we're getting a speed of automation, but we're also getting a safe, accurate responses which are not afraid to hit our customers' eyes. And that's example how this might look. We working in a customer service department. We getting our customer inquiries by email or by our website. The task of the first AI model is just to apply the label for each of the inquiry from billing issue to other. The second AI model, here is our judge. His role is to apply a binary score if he agree or disagree with the judgment of the first AI model. Then we're doing some cleaning of the data and we're logging everything into the database so we can always access the results. And then in step number 6, based on the judgment call, tickets are being routed automatically or being routed to the human review. Okay, here is the most important part of the process, the feedback loop. That's the way how our judge LLM is getting better and smarter. Every week or every month, we're providing a sample extract of past interactions. Our human experts review the judges and score them, flag any disagreements, and these disagreements are being used as a new example for our model. How this might look in a real case scenario, we're building another automated workflow. We setting our reoccurrence, if it's a monthly or it's a weekly. We pulling our tickets, the good ones and the bad ones. Both of them are valuable for us. We doing some data cleaning and data archive and preparing the ready to use list for our expert, and we notifying him by an email that the list is ready for him, so he just need to click a link. We're removing all of the friction from the process so he can focus on that's what his task is. Let's bring all of that together. AI acts as a black box. You see the input, you see the output, but you don't exactly know what is happening between these 2 points. That's why you need evaluation. Evaluation allow you to see which of the process steps are failing. Next, you're going to apply the binary scoring. Binary gives you the clarity. Having that, you are able to build your first LLM judge using the 5-step approach which you just described. What are the 3 things to remember remember after today, binary beats gradient. Everything can be pass or fail. It's really up to you how you're gonna ask the question, so you're getting to binary answer. Critics matter more than a verdict. That's the secret sauce how we can learn our LLM to be smarter and better in the future. And the main goal is alignment. We're pushing the AI judgment as close as possible to our human expert judgment. I hope you find this interesting, and I hope you now have a better idea how you can implement an LLM as a judge in your workflow, and how you can automate this so you're still getting a fast and rapid responses to your customers, but also you are getting safe and accurate responses which you are not afraid your customers gonna see.